Welcome to this week's episode of Clark County Weekly Recap, brought to you by ClarkCountyToday.com, your source for local community news in Clark County, Washington. In today's episode, we'll dive into the top news stories that have been making waves, from infrastructure battles to personal stories of downsizing, and from political controversies to changes in the local sports scene, we've got you covered. In our first story, we delve into the ongoing battle over the replacement of the I-5 bridge. Editor Ken Vance of Clark County Today is standing firm, emphasizing that the public's voice should not be sidelined in this decision-making process. Recent poll results indicate a majority opinion against the proposed light rail extension into Vancouver, raising questions about the funding sources. Vance challenges the validity of current transit ridership projections and highlights the need for a more suitable project that aligns with the interests of Southwest Washington residents. Speaking of important community decisions, we want to hear from you. This week's poll on ClarkCountyToday.com focuses on a crucial question: when it comes to a major infrastructure project, who do you trust to be more cost-efficient, the government or the private sector? Cast your vote and join the conversation on our website. Plus, share your valuable insights by sending a letter to the editor at ken.v@clarkcountytoday.com. Our next story introduces us to Dean and Roxanne Sutherland, a Vancouver couple who have spent 25 years downsizing their possessions and prioritizing cherished memories over material belongings. Former state legislator Dean Sutherland shares his journey from accumulating legislative records to embracing a minimalist lifestyle. Their story offers insights for those grappling with similar decisions, emphasizing the importance of enjoying moments over being encumbered by belongings. Moving on, a 3rd Congressional District candidate Joe Kent directs a sharp critique towards U.S. Representative Marie Gluesenkamp Perez in a letter to the editor. Kent accuses Perez of prioritizing special interests over the needs of veterans and their families, highlighting her contradictory stance on veterans funding. He contrasts his commitment to expanding VA funding and healthcare access, urging concerned citizens to visit joekentforcongress.com for more information. Washington State Republican Party Chairman Jim Walsh criticizes the governor's stance on a lawsuit challenging Senate Bill 5599, emphasizing the importance of protecting parental rights and family well-being. Walsh urges State Attorney General Bob Ferguson to recognize the suit's focus on constitutional protections and family matters. This lawsuit seeks to challenge policies undermining parental rights, sparking a crucial discourse on the balance between individual freedoms and policy decisions. Turning our attention to the local sports scene, Paul Valencia's recent series on ClarkCountyToday.com highlights the introduction of 6 new head coaches in Clark County's high school football programs. These coaches are embarking on a new journey in a competitive landscape, and their dedication to their teams is already evident. The challenges of the first week of practice are real, and the report sheds light on their experiences as they take the helm of their respective programs. Here, we shine a spotlight on 2 of the new head coaches. Dwayne Patterson takes the reins at Columbia River Rapids, leveraging his experience as a longtime assistant. With strong support from parents and a roster of experienced players, Patterson aims for a playoff spot in the competitive 2A, Greater St. Helens League. At Mountain View, new head coach Aaron Hart brings a disciplined and focused approach, instilling a renewed sense of unity and purpose. Both coaches embody the dedication and optimism that define our local sports scene. As the teams gear up for an exciting season, let's rally behind them and show our support for local sports. That wraps up this week's episode of the Clark County Today News Podcast. Thank you for joining us as we covered the top news stories in our community. For more in-depth coverage and to weigh in on this week's poll, visit ClarkCountyToday.com. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode, and remember, your voice matters in shaping the narrative of Clark County's news.